Bro, that's what it's all about, bro. We hunt like wild dogs. Let's get it. Gang on me, gang on 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah!
The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
The Las Vegas Raiders had another embarrassing game last night against the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys were 3-5 going into that game, and the Raiders lost 33-16, and the game wasn't even that close. Man, are the Raiders tanking, because they were no match for the sorry-ass Cowboys. They gave them a little resistance at the very beginning of the game, but after that it was total domination. It looks like the Raiders have become the team struggling teams come and get a win from, and they do it in blowout fashion. The Kansas City Chiefs were struggling at 3-3, threw the Raiders out 31-0, and many said they were back, but they have since fallen back down to 5-5. The Cowboys were 3-5-1 and came in and dominated the Raiders at home. This coaching staff is making the team worse every week. I know we're supposed to give them time to turn things around, but it's hard to believe in a staff that's pressing all the wrong buttons. It seems like the more they lose, the more determined they are to keep doing the same thing. They don't learn. I hate to keep talking about tanking, but the alternative is head coach Pete Carroll and his staff are really that bad. All offensive coordinator Chip Kelly has shown me since he got here is why he got ran out of the NFL the first time. I thought he changed at Ohio State, but nope, he's made for college, not the NFL. You can't keep showing the opposing defense the same thing. In the NFL, the players don't have to study for midterms and finals. They can spend all their time in the film room when they're not at practice. Therefore, when you run the same formation and concept every time you get in certain situations, the opposing defense knows what you're going to do. And that leads to losses on carries, sacks, and interceptions. You can see on quarterback Geno Smith's interception that the defender knew what was coming, so he got a good break on the ball. You got to diversify what you're doing on offense. For goodness sakes, the Cowboys came in with the number 31 ranked defense, and all the Raiders can score with 16 points. Any fan can do what Kelly's doing on offense right now, and he's the highest paid offensive coordinator at $6 million a year. Again, this is the number 31 ranked defense, and the Raiders had 236 yards and 1 touchdown in garbage time. Does it get worse than this? I am now officially a broken record. Kelly keeps doing the same thing, so I have to keep saying the same thing. Commit to the run. You can't just run the ball a few times and give up on it because they stopped it. You have to wear the defense down with it. Plus, when the defense sees you're committed to it, it's easier to throw the ball, particularly down the field. However, all too often, Kelly isn't willing to do that. Carroll was talking about the play-action passing game after the game, but the defense isn't going to bite on play-action when you haven't run the ball all day. Number 6 overall pick Ashton Jeanty only had 2 carries in the first half, and the Raiders threw it something like 21 times. That's not how you win football games. It isn't what Kelly said a few days ago about being more balanced either. I don't know how any coach in the NFL can put the games in the hands of a quarterback that leads the NFL in interceptions. For those that say the Raiders don't have the offensive line to run the ball, they don't have the offensive line to protect the quarterback either. You might as well choose Jeanty, the better player, over Smith, right? He's far less likely to turn the ball over. Many are saying the offensive line is the main reason why the offense is so bad, but it's their fault the offensive line is so bad. Who's they? Kelly, who ultimately decides who starts on offense. Carroll for hiring his son to be the offensive line coach, and Brendan Carroll, the offensive line coach. Last year when Joe Philbin took over as the offensive line coach, he moved Jackson Powers Johnson from guard to center and made Jordan Meredith the starter at guard. Then the run blocking and pass blocking got better. They finished the year number 10 in pass blocking. They have injuries on the offensive line now, but they were also horrible at the beginning of the year. They had the same offensive line Philbin had too. But they moved Powers back to guard where he isn't as good and Meredith to center where he's no good. And now that Powers is injured, they have Meredith back at guard, Will Putnam at center, and Putnam is even worse at center. So they were willing to move Meredith to guard for Putnam, but not keep him at guard for Powers. Somebody please make that make sense. It looks like they were determined not to let the Remington Award winner play center. What is it about quarterback Geno Smith that Carroll loves so much? Is it the fact that he brought him to Seattle as a bust and polished him off enough for him to have a couple of good years? Was that such an unforgettable experience that Carroll's determined to do it with him again? Well, it doesn't look like that's going to happen again this year, so at some point he has to let that go, right? All he can say to the media is that he believes in Smith and he's going to come through. I'm starting to think coming through doesn't mean putting up good numbers and winning games, because he isn't doing that. Smith leads the NFL in interceptions and has more interceptions than touchdowns on the season while leading the Raiders to a 2-8 record. What in the world does Smith have to do to get benched? I'm not saying there's an answer on the Raiders bench right now, but we have to hold him accountable for turning the ball over. Out of the 10 games the Raiders played this season, Smith has only not thrown an interception twice. Yet for some reason they want to put the game in his hands. He threw 42 passes last night. 42! Alright, I've had enough of the offense. They make me sick. I'm not saying the defense is great, but they're not as bad as the offense. You never know, they might be pretty good if the offense can stay on the field for more than a minute at a time. They looked pretty stout against the Cowboys in the beginning, but with the offense constantly going 3 and out, they eventually broke. Actually, something else also has to happen for the Raiders to have a pretty good defense though. Caillou Blue Kelly has to be taken out of the starting lineup. He's given up catches on 71% of the passes thrown his way for a third highest in the league, 488 yards and 3 touchdowns. Opposing quarterbacks have a passer rating of 118.4 when thrown his way too. Carroll has bragged about third-round pick Darian Porter since day one, so why does he still have Kelly out there? He's clearly the weak link in the secondary. He's the weak link in the defense, period, and last night was no exception. He gave up catches on all 5 passes thrown his way for 75 yards and 2 touchdowns, including one from 37 yards out. If they don't do something about that, man, I'm telling you, there's a large portion of me that can't help but think the Raiders are tanking. You mean to tell me Pete Carroll, a Super Bowl winning head coach, and his staff are that bad? Actually, we should think they're that bad. Look at how it ended for Carroll in Seattle. His offensive line was the worst. It ain't so nice for Raider fans for this history to repeat itself. And Chip Kelly, well, he's gonna get ran out of the NFL the same way he did last time. He has a 500-page playbook, but he only runs 10 plays out of it. Then Brendan Carroll, he has 0 NFL experience. I don't know about this. Thank you for watching. See you next time.